Live from DSN Studios, welcome to the DougLESS Report. I'm your host, Bobby Moravia, with, as usual, Max Sutton to my right or left, depending on which
Right, how it sets up.
Max, an unbelievable Sunday, Father's Day on the field. And
Weather was great. Bottom line, the way everything broke out with these matchups, everybody, like you mentioned, is in it.
Yeah.
Everybody is in it without craziness happening. Jumping into the matchups, we'll see how it happens.
Okay, so like we said, we're coming into the final week of the season. All two teams clinch playoff spots. The other six are mathematically alive and
Very
much alive, and no miracles really needed except to win on the field. Let's start off. The first matchup would be Sack Attack versus the Red Sox over in Fireman's East. Sack Attack on a 5-game losing streak. Half the team was at First Manana on Sunday, praying for that for a sweep, and lo and behold, they came in with a they had as we mentioned, a 5-game losing streak, so they were really desperate.
The scores looked as though they played ridiculously good defense.
Yeah.
Well, Jeffrey, I would say both. Jeffrey pitched great as well. Because what was the score? Game one, was it 2-1?
No, it was 3-2. It turned out to be
3-2.
actually.
Okay, it was very, very low scoring the whole way through.
Yeah.
A couple of runs at the end, I heard, but
the big thing with the Sack Attack, they were playing great defense the whole year, except a couple of weeks they were sluggish. But it looks like everybody came. Charles Sack was back. Elliott Sack played.
they have them all back. Well, more than that, even when they played my team and a couple of other teams, they played well over the course of the day, but they had made that one big blunder that could lose a game. One major, like a big throwing error that has 4-base error or something crazy, was losing in the game. So if they're going to limit that and have veterans on this team, a lot of veterans.
Yeah, and Ali claims she's not going to get out the rest of the year.
Okay.
Making that claim for years.
All right.
And lo and behold, who got the big hit in the 1-1 game?
Yes, I heard.
1-1 in the 7th inning. Who led off?
Apropos to being DSN, right?
The triple with none other than rookie Sammy.
Unbelievable. Line drive down the left field line, right?
He tried to actually
score?
get an Uber to get from second to third. But he made it to third, and that turned out to be the go-ahead run.
Turned to be the go-ahead winning run.
Yeah,
actually, not the
it actually went 3-1, and then they made it 3-2 with the tying run on base.
Wow.
So a huge win, and had to carry it. If they lost that game, it might have been
probably not. Now, they needed a little help in the league for things to work out, and it did work for them. We'll get to that in other matchups. But like you mentioned, they took care of business, and, I mean, this Red Sox team, one thing we always said about them is they got a good offense.
Yeah.
And they didn't hit. Leo Casson pitched well. I mean, he only gave up 3 runs. He pitched okay, all right? I don't know what his stat line was walks-wise, defensively, but the game looked like it was a dogfight. 3-2. I'm sure going into Game 2, the Sack Attack team probably had some mojo.
Yeah, I'll forget it. That was
mojo.
They were back and all this stuff, So.
Right, hearing them all talk.
And they ended up winning that game 4-1.
Okay. Did they have to lead the whole way through?
Yes, that's a good question. We'll leave it to our
statistics.
Okay,
but so the Red Sox.
But the Red Sox got a 4-8, and amazingly after getting swept.
Still alive. Now, I didn't talk to many people about their game, but the few that I did speak to, the word that I heard out of most of them was no heart and flat. So you don't want to hear that. Everybody's trying. Everybody, when you're coming up to the plate, it seemed as though there was something, there was like salt missing in the pot of soup. Like you're missing that one thing, there's a problem. That's what it seemed like. But like you said, 4-8, they have a lineup, they have ball players, they have a pitcher that's pitching well. They're not close to out of it, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Which is really, really amazing.
Yeah. No, I mean, we thought that team was going to be out of it by week 3.
Right. And then they turned the corner and showed some life, and everybody gave them a little bit credit, which they deserve. Falling back on this case, I mean, hey, you want to talk odds? All right, yeah, the odds are not in their favor for next week, but they're right in it, which is an amazing thing.
Yeah.
Sack Attack controls their own destiny. Man, if Sack Attack wins out next week, they have a chance of being, we'll get into the scenarios later, the 3 or 4 seed. So they went from being that you guys are terrible to maybe being
the bottom line is really, if you can't get one sweep through the course of the year, you really don't deserve to make the playoffs.
Usually need that one sweep.
So the Sox can't even do that, and the big story, of course, again, we talked about before, quickly, drive for 5.
Right, so this is get tight.
It
gets very tight for that last week again. You can't ask for better. Man, it's funny, last year he was in a similar situation where I don't remember if their team won 2 to get to a playoff game or
But
split.
but
They had a play-in game. They had a one-game playoff to get into the playoffs. Play-in game, whatever you want to call it. It looks like something like that could occur again if they play good ball next week. I think if they lose one next week,
I think
they're done.
They're
eliminated.
It'd be interesting if they won the first game.
Yeah, I make that second game a lot of fun.
But again, they have, like you said, they have the offense to do it, so they just got to put together.
They got to put together. They need one of those games where everything just clicks, and and they had a couple of clicks this year, but this is the final week. This is when
So let's shoot over to Fireman's Playground, where we had two teams that were not really in playoff fighting for their lives, but it was first and second place, which was A.B. Cohen and Turtles versus the Knights.
Yeah, so I got about 35 texts at 1 o'clock from the entire Cohen family, including his daughters and his daughter-in-laws and all his boys. Don't pick against my father. So I thought they were going to lose too. I guess don't doubt A.B. Cohen.
That's So a great game one, unbelievable.
I heard A.B.'s pitching, unbelievable.
Yeah, and the truth is, I can't say anything about Mikey. It was I think
one
they had
nothing
1-0 game going into the seventh. Believe it or not, I think it was a big drop on a routine force out at second, which the second baseman just dropped the ball.
Wow.
Which would have been I think the second or the third out, and then they kept getting alive. And, I think they tied it up 1-1. But again, same old story for the Turtles, pitching defense.
And they won with it.
And that's all you really need to go far.
I don't know if it was game one or game two, but I did hear from quite a few people that Albert Gamal was up. Was it game two?
Yeah, he was up. I was there for that. It was up with a one-run game with the bases loaded.
Jack Abadi got walked.
Yeah.
Now, Jack Abadi came up with first and second, 2 out, 3-0 count. So if you walk him, you're putting the winning run on second.
Was it intentional?
No, it wasn't intentional, but I do know.
They weren't giving him a meatball.
They weren't. So they told, I think Gabe Abadi or whoever else it was, told AB, let him hit it. We'll play these guys deep. At least a single, we don't lose.
Right.
A single, maybe the runners move up. You're not getting 2 runs home.
They got some fast guys. They can
That's
keep
quick,
running.
but they have a good defense.
I don't know
guys.
who's on base, but
So,
it had to be Jack Abadi.
What's his name? But A.B. Cohen said, I'm not giving it to Jack Abadi. I'm pitching him hard on 3-0, and he walked him.
Right.
But walking him gave Albert Gamal a chance to hit a single to take the lead. Or
Right.
win the game. Was it the bottom? It was the bottom of the inning, right?
Yeah, it was the bottom.
So a single to win the game. You're talking about Albert Gamal, one of the perennial sluggers, not just sluggers, high average hitters, one of the best hitters in the league over the last 5 years. So a lot of respect to Jack Abadi, which he definitely deserves and earns. But a 2-2 pitch, I heard a curveball was thrown. And,
he didn't swing once, but a nasty pitch.
I heard the pitch actually hit Albert, but Albert was in the zone and it hit his elbow in the strike zone. They called strike 3.
Really, that's what they were claiming, but I don't know
I
what
don't
it
know
was.
if it happened. I know that Albert and AB had choice words innings before that.
I just thought it was a machloket.
Oh, it's the right word to use because I think AB was a little upset about it.
They were going at it.
They're going at it, and then it was sort of like God gave you what you deserve type of thing, like one of those.
Yeah, it was a nasty pitch, but honestly, he took a couple of pitches that were like very close. I don't know why he didn't swing, but
he was looking for the walk.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Trying to hope to go full, and then maybe get a slow pitch.
Unbelievable way to end the game, and so now for the first time probably all year, the Turtles are in sole possession of first place.
Yes, and the Turtles, when we'll get into the scenarios, automatically have a bye.
Yeah, they clinched the bye. But
We don't know if it's
second,
1 or 2,
we don't
but
know,
they're the only team in the entire league that clinched a bye.
Now the interesting thing, actually, but the Knights clinched a playoff spot.
Yes.
But interestingly enough, now it gets a little.
Oh wait, let's finish the match.
Okay.
Get into all that.
All right. So let's shoot over to Dow Avenue, and we had the Motley Crue versus who did Motley Crue? Hit and Run. That week.
You said an interesting thing before. You said you really need to have a sweep in this league to deserve a playoff spot. Well, Motley Crue seems like that team to take that information and say no. Because if they get a split this coming week, they're 7-7. They split every.
Well, we should rephrase that. If you're not going to get swept, then
right.
it's okay.
That's what it is. But if they win one game next week, they clinch a playoff spot, and yet again, they split.
Right.
Against A.B. Saka's team, who's playing for their lives.
Interestingly enough, very difficult situation. Mosham appears to be more
A little hurt again, right?
When he actually played first base.
I heard he made the play of the game to win
At
the game
first?
at first. Believe it or not, they move him to third. They move him to first base, and there was a relay throw that he took in from the right fielder and threw a guy.
Oh yes, yeah. Played out the right field line.
That's an incredible thing.
Yeah.
Mosham, he's playing great defense right
yeah,
now.
I don't think.
Another. Okay.
I don't think Saban would ever take it.
I'm done, man. I don't know.
And Ike Jamal was short. I think from what I hear, he pretty much held his own.
He did it in Pee Wee League, and he.
So they.
Truth is, the more homework we did, this was a bad week for YMSL shortstops.
Yeah.
That's what the team got. Between Morris being hurt, Jaime Shama.
We didn't talk about that. We just found out. Actually, I didn't. Nobody even knew about it. Honestly, he played all 2 games.
They threw it.
And then apparently he had torn ligaments in his thumb and needed surgery.
From what I heard, he got the surgery already.
Yeah. So as you mentioned, now Jaime Sham with his torn ligaments in his thumb had surgery yesterday. So big loss for.
He's been a great shortstop. Wish him refuah shlema, and he's out for the season.
Yeah.
So now, from what I heard, we spoke about league rules did get changed a little bit.
So he's.
They get to pick up a player.
They get to pick up a player. Isaac Saka was officially approved.
From what I heard, he is a little injured himself. I hope he's doing okay.
Right. But now they're waiting to see how long what the doctor says as far as they might try to wing it for a week or two.
Really? Surgery is going to be back?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think they're just going to pick up.
He played.
So this 3 weeks is like the whole season could be over.
Yeah. 3 weeks. Now, I mean, you could pray for rain. Something we're all not praying for, but you never know. I mean, this is not an easy week for shortstops in general. We'll get through it. I know in the other field there was a couple of tough plays. Morris got hurt. Jaime got hurt. The 2 Shamas were off for shortstop.
Eliezer playing with
Eliezer has a broken thumb.
He struggled this week.
And he didn't have an easy week. And he didn't hit well. I mean, Ralph pitched him well. I'm sure he got a few hits, but nothing special. And me personally, when we got to my matchup, I was awful as there. I wish thank God I'm not hurt, but I was just awful. But finishing on that hit and run game, I don't even know who won game 1. Again, hit and run against Mount.
The hit and run won.
Hit and run game 1. So hit and run controls their own destiny, as we know. Anyway, still, and they still do. And they have a little bit of a break from what we hear coming up. But having A.B. Saka on the mound, I don't know what happened in game 2. I think there was 1 inning where Motley Crue hit the ball nicely.
Well, it was 2-0 into about 4th or 5th.
Right. Close game. There was 1 inning.
No, everyone was winning 2-0. So
right, there was 1 inning where Motley Crue took off and got some nice hits. Maybe there was an error here and there. Who? Soli and Kona. Oh, Soli and Kona, that big hit. Holy cow, yes.
By the way, looking back to the draft quickly, I think Sack Attack regrets taking Ike Franklin to look at that Soli and Kona.
That's right. Soli and
that would have been a big.
Someone shows up every week for the bat, and they're a team that's been saying the back.
And the defense has been incredible.
Yeah, he's playing very strong up the middle position. I mean, that's not hurting Sack Attack. That Steven Shaw kid, but losing the back, you're right, it's big. And Ike could hit, but he showed up once the whole year. And in the week he showed up, they lost twice.
Right.
Whatever. But again, hit and run, smack in the middle of things. They do have to regroup and find defensive positions. They did have a good week this year without Jaime, when Morris Casson played short.
Yeah.
So that could be something that they're peddling and talking about in the clubhouse. The GM maybe is discussing ideas.
Well, I guess if they do pick up Isaac Sack, I guess he'll either play third or short.
He can play short. Avi Dweck played third base and held his own, so maybe they can go with a different player. They have a great outfield already, we know that.
Right.
So I don't know what they're going to do. I wish them luck. I hope Jaime has a full recovery. And Motley Crue has Morris Shama to worry about.
Yeah, is he going to be healthy at all?
I personally think
rest of the year, he might.
Right, it could be on and off thing.
Right.
You don't want in the playoffs to have to go to first base.
Right.
Down 1 game and then third inning you're at first base. It's not something you want Morris Shama, the best defensive player in the whole league, to.
Well, now we have Ike. Short also changed the outfield.
Right, it's not as strong in the outfield. So it is something. Playoff times, we always say this is where youth helps usually. Yeah. And this is where you gotta use your 12. That's why we have 12 in the league.
I think actually Marty was hitting for Morris.
He did. Marty got in that bat and worked a 3-2 count. From what I heard, he fouled off a couple of pitches, and AB struck him out on a changeup. But Marty battled, and this could be a trivia question.
Who's the oldest?
The oldest player to ever pinch hit for Morris Shama was Marty. Before that, it was Moses Eastman. We did our homework, yeah, but those are two people pinch hitting for Morris.
So Motley Crue, I guess, was ecstatic to get that split. And,
I mean, they control their own destiny as well.
So up to
We'll
66, so let's shoot over about 5 feet over to the other
That's
field.
right. That's what we love about Dow. It's right there. You can watch the game.
You know, who loved me more than everybody was Jeff Cohen because he had,
his two kids.
he was sitting right in the middle, just turning his head off.
That's great. So this was a game.
Now we had the band on the run versus the Cubs.
Again, the Cubs fighting for their lives. Right? The Cubs lost 2. They weren't out of it, but they'd be in a really tough spot. They still have their work cut out for them after today. Maurice and company. It was a very good game. I'll say off the bat, first thing I have to say is Ralph Hammond and Maxie Bede, both were great. Game 1, band on the run, my team, we won 5-3. I would say we looked it over, we all spoke about it, there was one really pure earned run out of both sides, 8 runs. Our team had one manufactured run. A double, Sammy Town moved the runner over, Stevie Shalou sack fly, and we got a run home. Every other run of the game was unearned. Whether there was the sun, there was 2 big plays.
Oh yeah, I heard some of the big
was
factor.
a big factor. It killed me on one and it killed their first run. They had a runner on second, 2 out, fly ball to ABJ Cohen, my center fielder. He never misses anything. He saw the ball the whole way through, just lost it last second.
Also, Carlos lost.
And then, so our error on that play was 1 run. Carlos was bases loaded, 2 out. Nathan Tao was stroking the ball. He's in the ball really hard. Hit a hard line drive to center field. Carlos was right there with it, followed it perfectly, and it just went off his glove and went for a 3-base error.
Wow.
3 runs came home, and that's how we did score 3. And then the following at bat, Joey Cohen, this kid's great.
Yeah.
Joey Cohen hit a weak ground ball to short. Carlos had a little trouble with it.
He's so good that even Maurice compliments him.
Now, it was not an easy day defensively for anybody, especially myself.
Right.
I would say I had a really rough day at shortstop. Can't wait to get back out there. It was one of those, I actually moved myself in game 2 to short center field.
Fortunate that Joey Cohen.
Yes, and Joey held it well. But you know what happens when you move yourself? The very next inning, the first play, hit right to me. Thank God I made the play, but you never hide yourself. We actually turned a double play that got me my confidence a little bit back. But we won game 1, 5-3. Notable things to mention, ABJ threw 2 guys out at the plate.
Wow.
Marcus Adjemi is great at the catching position. And 2 tag-up plays, pretty nice fly balls, threw both guys out.
Speaks to A.B. Sales.
Yes, that's right. A.B., I forgot the other guy he threw out. There was another play at the plate where I think Johnny, I don't know, I was running. Johnny threw to David Arari, and I dove in. They got me
David
out.
Arari's a pretty good catcher.
Yes,
also.
that's what I'm saying. He made a nice play. I thought I got in there. It was a very close play. And we were out at we ended up winning that game 5-3. Ralph Hannon really pitched amazing.
But another notable, very interesting stat is that Dave Clark was suspended in game 1 and actually won that game.
We had Ralph Matuden left.
Which is like probably,
he played well. There was maybe one play.
You can say off if Dave Clark was suspended.
Right, okay. And our team, we mixed up the lineup a little bit. Ralph Hannon is tearing the cover off the ball. Stay straight out. He's just hitting the ball like a monster.
And was player of the week of the night. He get a good
he really he stepped it up. Maxie Bede got out of a couple. Actually, game 1 it was a 5-3 game, like was mentioned, that big 3-base error. And otherwise, the sun was an issue.
Yeah.
There was another play where I think it was game 2, so we'll get to it.
Now,
game 1,
before quickly, there was no issues with the trees. I know that was a problem.
No, we made a deal which everybody should know, and it's going in. It's the best way to play it. I spoke about it with Maurice. The tree is like the green monster. If it's so clear that the ball hits a leaf in left field and it doesn't change anything, it goes right into a guy's glove, the umpire will call him out, fine. But if the ball hits a tree and it does a little ricochet or anything and it goes through, it's in play. Just run, just play. It avoids all fights. It was the greatest thing. It came into play once. Ralph Hannon, at the end of the game 2, did hit the tree, and we just played it. And they got it in. We hit a triple, and nobody argued. It's the best way to play it. It avoids all controversy.
I know. Game 2 was another very close game.
So game 2, we were winning 2-0, and then they made it 2 up. And the second and third, John Elias are up, and he hit a ground ball to short when I was playing short, and I made a bad error. It was a play I usually should eat up and throw him out. He was a fast runner, but he hit the ball pretty hard. I just didn't play it right, and they went up 4-2. We were fortunate to make a comeback and tie it at 4. We made it 4-3, and then we made it 4 up. I forgot how. we had a couple of opportunities. We had first and second, nobody out in the fifth, with some good hitters coming up, and it just didn't happen. Maxi D bared down, got 2 pop-ups and a ground out, and got out of the inning. And I think that was the propelling moment for their team that made them have that little kick, like, oh, let's go. They came out the next inning. I think it was their best hitting of the day.
Right.
There may have been an error here or there. Maxi D got on an infield single that was hit to Joey Cohen. He made a very good play. Maybe he took a little long to throw. It was deep in the hole. Maxi D's been swinging the bat nicely.
He's been hitting 2 games.
He's been hitting, and he's in the ball hard. He's in the ball well.
Expensive Abe Salem. So
Okay, I hear you. And then, I mean, he lumbers around the bases. Looks like he's salivating when he runs. I don't know, but he's hitting the ball well and he's pitching great. And then they went on to hit. We had a couple of throwing errors that weren't a big deal. I got a couple of good hits. Credit to them over there. They went up 8-4. They went up 8-4. There was a play. There was a pop-up in the sun. Actually, both teams had another pop-up. Jackie Haber lost the ball in the sun once. He just lost it. And myself, I was runner on second, pop-up with 2 outs. I just lost it in the sun as well. I don't recall if that was game 1 or game 2, to be honest with you. So it was a tough day defensively. It really was. They took an 8-4 lead. We made it 8-5. We had runners on the last inning. I mean, we lost a little hustle in our step, which bothered me a little bit. We could have, we lost our fight in us. I wanted our team to put the pedal to the metal. We made a little, maybe a little push at the end. We didn't focus as well as we should have. But like I said, like I'm saying about everybody, we control our own destiny.
Right.
We're 6-6. And Maurice's team is
5-7.
5-7, also controlling their own destiny.
Very fortunate to come.
Now we have a good time talking about matchups.
Okay, we're back from a word from my sponsors. Max, now the big segment. We're coming into the playoff scenarios.
This is when it gets fun.
For, like we mentioned, we have 2 teams that clinched, and we have 6 teams that are fighting for their lives.
Warning: if you have two Advil or 2 Tylenol, maybe take it now, because this could get a little bit head swirling.
Okay, why don't we start from the top? Okay, so now we mentioned the Turtles.
Yes, so they're the easiest ones to talk about. The Ninja Turtle team, making Turtles great again, however you want to put it. They clinched a bye. Did they clinch the first round bye or the second round bye? That we don't know yet. Different things could change it. The difference between the first and second round bye we should bring up is the first round bye, when it comes to the second round, they get to choose their opponent. Now, is that a good thing
or bad thing?
We don't know. We don't know. Most guys end up flipping coins nowadays. Nobody wants to pick their poison.
Right.
But they did clinch a bye, which means they're out of the first round already, and
Right.
they're sitting pretty in the semifinals. That's the Turtles.
Okay. Now, the number 2, second place team right now is the Knights. Now, the Knights have an interesting scenario this week. Where
Regularly, it's very hard to say the Knights are going to get swept.
Right.
Very hard to say that. The way they've been playing this year, the way Mikey's been pitching, very hard. I mean, even this week, Mikey was in a 1-0 game to the end, right? And just defensive mistakes had them lose the game. So, but we heard some news. We heard Jack and Dr. Chucky Abadi are going to be missing. I heard Harry Bra is nursing an injury, but he's going to tough it up and play.
Yeah.
And Albert Gamal has a siyum for his
son
that he may be missing both games, maybe coming to the second
Right.
game, depending who you talk to, whether it's his wife or his father, I don't know. But so they're playing a team that there's never a silver platter game, but A.B. Saka and the Hit and Run organization got a gift. I mean, you got to go out there and do it. And we've seen last year teams with 9 win.
Right. Oh,
so
for
it
sure.
happened plenty of times. But when you're missing Jack Abadi and Albert Gamal, we're talking about their first and second round picks.
And how about Dr.
Abadi
controlling the whole
he's
team,
controlling the team.
Mikey.
And Dr. Abadi really has the team in the palm of his
Right.
hands. And he's the catcher, and he's not just catching. He really controls the field. So losing him and then having an injured Harry Bra who can play, he may have to play first base.
Yeah, he can't play third.
Right, he may have to play first. So they're very hamstrung right here. And the Hit and Run organization we mentioned have a little bit of a problem with the Jaime Shannon situation.
Problem right now.
But they're only missing one, and they have Morris Casson who could play. So I'm going to say, you have to say, I would imagine, I'm looking prediction-wise that they're going to take 2. And we're talking about an A.B. Saka who's hungry to get to the playoffs. You know, they say the end of the year, A.B. is when he turns it on. This is the time. He knows right now. What's his record going in? He's 5-7.
5-7.
I think a win may get him a play-in game. Maybe even a playoff spot, probably not. I don't think so. I think if he's 6-8, the best he can do is a play-in game. I believe.
No, I don't know.
Did he sweep anybody?
No, but it doesn't matter.
Oh no, timeout. It could hurt him. I'm sorry. You're right. AB at 6 and 8. If he's together with Maurice at 6 and 8, he's in bad shape. Maurice swept him.
Yeah,
right?
no, but he could.
Am I right about that? I may be wrong. Shoot. One of them swept each other. I'm supposed to have my paper in front of me.
But wait a minute. But he could get into 6 and 8 if Sack gets swept.
So if he gets swept,
Red Sox goes.
And the Red Sox get swept. That's correct. 6 and 8 can get him in easy.
Yeah.
But there is a 6 and 8 scenario where at head-to-head he could have a problem, and he could have even a playing game. So 6 and 8, I think, I'm not going to say he's in good shape, but he's in a situation where they're not going home.
Right.
They're probably playing another game, and they're going to look at stuff.
Tiebreakers.
Right.
So I you know something, I feel that somehow, even though I feel that the Knights are going to manage one win.
You think they're going to get a win?
Yeah.
So now
I think they got a lot of guts and they play with
They do have a lot of guts, but a lot of their heart is Jack Abadi, Abergamal, and Chucky. I'm not downing the rest of their team.
Yeah. No, he's not Mikey.
Yeah, Mikey's great. Yeah, DK's great, of course, but they are missing, you know.
Right now, is it
how much can you win with heart? You got to win with talent too.
Right.
They're very talented, but you're missing the best, one of the best, or the top center fielder in the game. With Abergamal with the best bat, it's not easy. Noted, we have to bring up. We talked about the AB Sacker's team hit and run. Their playoff scenarios, if they lose 2, they're out. If they lose 2, we didn't talk about the Knights. Everybody thought the Knights were a shoo-in for a bye.
Right.
It's not true. If the Knights lose 2, and Motley Crue, who's playing Jeffrey Sacker, and Motley Crue wins 2, the way the rules are, the tiebreaker scenario is, they would have the same record, and you look at record versus playoff teams. If you look at the way the league is running this year, we don't know who's in the playoffs.
Right, so we can't make that. But there is a way they can get ahead of them.
But we do know going in that Motley Crue split everybody.
Right.
So they're 500. And if they do win 2, they'd be 2 up against a playoff team.
Right, and they just got swept from the Turtles.
Right, and they would have got swept by a playoff team.
Exactly. And they lost 2 to hit and run, so they would really be
right. Another playoff team, right. So and then it goes to runs. If you look at playoff matchups,
and they have the better.
And they have the better. Well, the Knights have the better run differential, but I think Motley Crue in the situation would have a better playoff record, and they would get the bye. That's only if Motley Crue wins 2 and the Knights lose 2. So it does take a lot to happen. Motley Crue never won 2 this year.
Right.
It hasn't happened. So is it going to happen? I mean, it could, but it never happened yet. And the Knights, to say they're going to lose 2 is hard, but if there's ever a time for them to lose 2, it's missing Jack Abadi, Dr. Abadi, and Abergamal with an injured Harry Problem.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
it's not out of the realm of possibility, but it's good to know that the Knights are coming with something to play for.
Oh, yeah.
Big time.
Yeah.
Big time coming with something to play for. So it's not one of those weeks, we're playing with 9 guys, don't worry. It's no, we're playing with 9, let's grit out a win and get the bye. You want to avoid that first round playoffs. That's those 2. Now, I guess jump to Motley Crue.
Yeah, so let's do now. Motley Crue.
If they win 1, they're in.
Right. Automatically
clinched. Which spot, seating-wise? It's either 3, 4, 5, 6. It doesn't make a big difference right now, especially because the way we set
so
up.
Now Motley Crue is playing the all of a sudden resurgent Sack Attack.
That's right.
So this is a classic game.
Now, Sack Attack has to win 2 to get in.
No way at 6 and 8 they can get in.
No, I'll tell you why. If my team,
Band on the Run
loses 2, I have to head-to-head on it.
Okay.
So if I win 1, or whatever, I'm ahead of him anyway, and then Motley Crue wins 1, they're in ahead of him anyway. So Sack Attack needs to win 2 to get into the playoffs. If I'm wrong, let me know. I'm pretty sure that's
okay, wait a minute.
That's true.
Let's see. So what if they split and the Cubs and Red Sox split? Who gets the
Cubs? The Red Sox will be out
because they got swept. What about the Cubs versus
the Cubs versus Jeffrey Sacker?
They swept them now.
Jeffrey Sacker swept them, but what would the records be?
They both be 6 and 8.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ninja, you're right. Okay, should push reset the line here. My bad.
Sacker swept the Cubs?
Sacker did sweep the Cubs.
So they'll get in that way.
They can get in,
but
if I'm there with them,
it's
we
a
have
4-way.
3 of us.
3 of us, and they can't be eliminated. It looks like the Cubs will be eliminated.
Right, maybe the Cubs wouldn't be eliminated.
Oh, the Cubs swept you?
They split with me.
Okay,
the Cubs
split you.
Right, so one of us would get in and one of us would play them. that's what can happen.
Right. Okay.
Right.
For the
Make a
final
good
playoff
For the
spot.
final playoff spot. So that's
Yes,
that's a
Saka
good point.
is in a
Sorry
not in
about
a not in a.
No.
sweet situation.
They're in a spot where they win through their in with their own controlling their own destiny. They split, there's a chance they're not in. If they split, there's a chance they're walking home.
Right.
If things happen not their way.
So now, basically, the way it is, if you get the 7, you're automatically
Correct.
qualified.
That's all. So my team, I'm playing the Turtles.
Right.
Okay. A.B. Cohen is coming. He's showing and he's pitching. He's mentioned he doesn't want to have 3 weeks rust going into the semifinals. So he is coming. So we're not getting any breaks, and we wouldn't want it any other way. If you're going to win it, do it the right way. Play the team the way they're supposed to be. If we get a win, game 2 means really nothing. If we win game 1. If our team wins 1 game, we're automatically in, like Bobby mentioned. If I lose 2, if Band on the Run loses 2, we guarantee ourselves a play-in game,
Right.
but no guarantee to get to the playoffs.
Right. So
It could work out.
So you cannot
that we-
lose unless you play 3 games.
Right. My team can't lose unless we play 3. There is a chance we could lose 2 and still back into the playoffs because we have a head-to-head on somebody.
Right.
The way things work out. Obviously, we're not looking for that to happen. We want to go in and playing good ball. And nobody's going in dying to play. As much as we love softball, nobody's so excited to play that 3rd game of the day. So we want to win a game.
No,
But yes, it could happen that Band on the Run loses 2 and still backs their way in. Basically, by the way, just to let you know, if Motley Crue wins 1, my team clinches. That's how that works. If Motley Crue beats Sack Attack 1 game,
Yeah.
my team's automatically in because then I would have the head-to-head on Jeffrey no matter what.
Okay. So how do you see which game? How do you see the Motley Crue Sack Attack game?
So that's, I have to say it just because it's going to be a split. Because Motley Crue's just been doing it 6 straight weeks. And the Sack Attack team is a Jekyll and Hyde team.
Right.
I mean, they never really proved to us to be an offensive team. I think they hit in week 1 against A.B. Saka, right? That was their big comeback win. Did they ever have another big offensive game the whole year?
No, but it's in there. They could explode. I
They
mean,
could.
listen,
I
wait
mean,
for
anybody-
Ali and say bye. You know.
Okay, it could happen. The back end of their lineup hasn't doing. Maybe they are. Elliott Saka didn't have particularly an Elliott Saka year. He didn't hit well. Maybe he's going to come out now. It could happen. Of course, it could happen. There's a lot of talented players on every team. But Ralph Sutton is he the potion that they need to go hit? Ralph, we used to say that. He's been pitching pretty good. So I'm calling a split.
Well, I mean, listen, we can say the guy never got swept the whole year, bro.
That's correct. It says a lot.
Now, again, we have to mention Mo Shamus' status. I mean, if he's
Is
playing.
he the only guy that didn't get swept the whole year, Ralph Sutton?
Well, no, but
The Turtles. That's it. Every other team got swept this season.
Right,
I
one of these
believe.
ones.
So, interesting.
So I see a split also, and I guess there's going to be a lot of scoreboard watching after that.
Big time, yeah. Now, Mo Shamus, of course. If Mo Shamus is
He's
in bad
clinched
shape,
it. Yeah, but he clinched it.
if he's in bad shape, it could change.
I don't know. You know
things.
something? Even
But they have a
because
pretty team.
if he finds a way to go at first base, he'll find a way to do something like he did the
That's
other
what
day.
happened. Amazing. He's at first base and he makes the play in the game.
You know,
It's incredible.
so
Ball finds him in good ways. You know, it's amazing.
yeah, there's something about him, and so you got to figure those splits. The Sackers is going to have to sit and wait.
Yes. Sit
and
and
then
watch.
Motley Crue would clinch
You
playoffs.
can't go to the pool. You got to keep your cleats on and get ready to see if you're playing another game. That's what.
Now here, this game, you know, does not look too interesting, but it's a huge game. The Cubs and the Red Sox.
I love that game. So to me, that's a lot of fun. This is Maurice playing for his life.
Yeah.
Back to being on the mound, and Leo Caston has been pitching well. And I mean, you can't. You know, it's the elephant in the room. You're going to see is before I get into the playoffs. It's going to be the question asked. And are they going to come to play? Are these guys going to mail it in and say we want to go to the beach next week, or are they going to say let's go, let's play? It's
Like we mentioned earlier, if the Red Sox do win the first game, it'd be incredible.
Oh my gosh, that's
Because they're eliminated if they automatically.
If the Red Sox win that first game, I wish you could just like wait and make it like a game for everybody to watch. You want to see?
Definitely
Yes. Oh wow, between Maurice there and Johnny and.
But I have to say, these, like the Cubs, I'm not too high on the Cubs up here. Maybe because I'm comparing to the Royal team from last year,
so
which was a great team.
I just played them this past week.
I don't see any major threats in the.
That's the thing. Their last year team had Joey Eschel and Jimmy Malach, ABJ, whatever. Obviously, they have other players. Johnny Eliezer is there, but Jimmy Malach's opponent back.
Right.
I mean, he's hurt, and I hope he's recovering well. But missing that bat lineup, what really made up for that bat?
Right.
I mean, David O'Reilly is supposed to, and he's picking it up a little bit, but
Right.
not close to what Jimmy did. So they have defense, and you have Max Edid on the mound. He takes the ball. I'll tell you one thing about Max. He just pitches. He doesn't wait. He grabs the ball, just pitches. He doesn't wait, doesn't turn around. Lets them take care of the field. And
Let's not forget, the second inning of game 1, he did get hit in the face, and he recovered nicely.
He recovered. He looks great.
Recovered nicely, so he's
That's
been,
right.
he's been a big.
He's mentally and
yeah.
psychologically.
So how do you see this matchup? I mean, if I see a sweep, it's going to be on the Cubs. I just can't see the Red Sox sweeping anybody.
So I'm going to think that Max Edid's getting in, and I see them sweeping as well. I do. I think Max Edid's team, Maurice's team, however you want to say it, whether it's karma, whether it's just things not falling right, he has a lineup to go against, and Jordy and JT and Ike Mavora and Salim, they're not going to go down without swinging. I assure you that. They're not going in just not thinking they're going to win. They're going to try hard. But it's been a roller coaster ride for this team, and the roller coaster has been going down more than up by their record. It's 4-8. They haven't scored last week, and it was against Jeffrey. Max Edid,
yeah, but
Jeffrey.
There's no slouch either. Max
Edid's pitching, and some people say Max Edid is. I'm not saying who's better or worse. They're both great. Any given day, one guy could be better than the next. And Max pitching well. He just pitched really well against my team this past week, and I believe my team has a pretty good lineup. So
and again, but Eliezer, like we mentioned,
he has a bad thumb,
so that could be a problem with grounders.
It hurt him. He wasn't fielding grounders like Johnny.
And I don't think he was hitting so well.
And he wasn't hitting well. He hit a couple balls hard, but it wasn't vintage Johnny. It wasn't. I've seen Johnny when he's on his game. He was struggling in pain. And Solly Tao, I didn't mention, he hit the ball very well as well. That third, but the defense, it could be the field was a little fast also maybe, but if Max is on his game, their defense is good enough, I am calling them to win too.
So you think they're going to...
and that would clinch them a playoff spot.
Well, actually, even a split, going to split get them in? A
split
get all the tie-breaking
yes.
scenarios.
A split, don't go home. I don't want anybody to say, oh, I left, I go out. No. 6-8, you may have a playing game. Could they back in? I don't think they could back in. They won 2 against Jeffrey. I don't know how that. We have to look at that. If you split, you're still
if
you're
at 6-8, just stay in the field.
Yes, don't go anywhere.
Tell you where to go.
Exactly. And then we have the last matchup. I'm not predicting my game because it's my team.
Band on the run versus the Turtles,
yes.
like you mentioned.
We need one.
I think it's going to be a split because I don't see any incentive on the Turtles spot, but I think AB's just going to keep him,
Okay. Well, he's there to pitch.
And his defense will be there, so...
You know, you put anybody on the mound on that team, their defense. I mean, no disrespect to A.B. Cohen. He's been the best pitcher in the league this year. But if you put somebody who can throw strikes on the mound, they got a ridiculous defense. Lisa Carey is playing amazing at second. Gabe is at short. All I hear is Daniel Towell doesn't miss a ball at third. And their outfield's holding their own. Between Billy Miz and Sonny's playing center.
It'll be interesting to see if they get Ali Braha. I should go this week.
That's a good
put
question.
him at short center.
Right, that's another thing. So they're the 1-2 seed for a reason. They came in. We said before the season, if they're gonna win, it's gonna be with defensive pitching. That's exactly what they're doing.
And that's what the playoffs are. So looks like another beautiful day on Sunday. Hopefully,
weather's set to be great.
So we're gonna have an early start again, just in case that one-game playoff does.
That's 8:45 start. For the most part, I think everybody loved it.
Yeah,
8:45 start. Everybody got there early.
I'm looking for the same locations as last week. So
that'd be great.
if there is a one-game playoff, I believe we're gonna make it at Fireman's Playground. So
the Fireman's Playground, okay, where we have a lot of fans usually. I guess that's why. So everybody sit tight. I'm sure everybody's talking on their team.
I'm sure probably every captain knows a scenario what
everybody's doing the man. I mean, like I said, it gets complicated when you read these websites, but for the most part, if you have 6 wins, don't go anywhere.
So technically, there could be really 4 teams with 6 wins.
It could happen. Now, if you're it could work out very simply without any complications. There's 2 teams with 5 wins, and everybody's in, and that's it. It could happen the way things are set up right now. There's a 4-win team and there's 2 5-win teams. So that could happen. But usually, with the hit and run situation against the Knights, when they're missing so many people, it makes that odds of happening a little less. You have to imagine hit and run's going to pull out a win there. And
can you get the 7 wins to be limited? Impossible.
No, impossible.
Right?
If you have 7 wins, you're in the playoffs simply because the way everything matched up. The way who's playing who, the way the league worked. So 7 wins, you made the playoffs. Now, what we didn't mention, last thing, and then we're all done, is whoever's the 3 seed is going to choose their opponent.
Right.
We don't know who the 3 seed is going to be. It could be my team. It could be Motley Crue. It could be Jeffrey Sacco. It could really be any one of 3 teams.
Did it ever happen with the number 3 seed deferred to make a pick?
I think a lot of times I think what's been happening lately is teams just go with seeding.
All right.
They go, let's look at the seeding. They don't want to make any.
I guess it also depends with pitchers and that.
Okay, right. That's another thing to look at. Hey, I had Red Nesser, Leather Shalom, and twice they picked him and we beat them twice. So I mean, you could pick your poison, and exactly what it is sometimes is poison. So I picked the team that had Jack Bawabe on the mound.
Right.
Leo Gatson was in Mexico.
They
beat me, and exactly. They went on to win the whole thing.
So, and how many times were you, before we end this, the number 6 seed ends up winning?
Oh, forget about it. I mean, and I know,
so that buy is a taboo sometimes.
Sometimes it can hurt you. And I know it's not always they win. You get to the finals is a major accomplishment. I know the Cardinals were the 6th seed, and the year before that, there was another team with Eddie Michon.
Right.
They got to the finals. So you're right. You're in the playoffs with a league like ours. You're all in it, and everybody knows that.
Right.
Everybody knows they could win or lose to any team in this league. So a best of 3 game, one bad day, you're going home.
Right,
so
right.
That's why that buy is.
That's what we said. You get a hot pitcher that week, and you can
That's it.
take
So
it far.
good luck, everybody.
We look forward to seeing everybody in the field on Sunday, and it should be very exciting. Next week we'll be doing playoff previews. Thank you. Have a good day.